Hi folks, this is the Ham Radio Newbie. I'm Jeff and I'm the newbie. As promised, over the next few videos I'm going to share what I've learned about antennas. Today is about an epiphany that I had that helped me understand how these puppies basically work. Let me start by saying that I'm a mechanical engineer by training and a systems and software engineer by practice. I never studied RF in school. So for a lot of you, this topic is intuitively obvious to the casual observer, and it is going to be way below you. But to me, antennas are FM, friggin' magic. Okay, but first, let me start with a couple of shout outs. First to my friend Dan, KJ5IZK, who is my go-to guy for lots of technical things. He sent me a treasure trove of articles on building antennas. He's a new ham as well, and he's been building UHF, VHF antennas. Dan, one of these days, I want to get you on the Ham Radio Newbie to show some of the cool things that you've built. Second is to one of the guys in my club, and one of the many Elmers there, and I'll probably be calling a bunch of them out over time. This one is to Ralph, KUVY, and that's for giving me this book and several others. This is The Basic Antennas by Joel R. Hallis. Okay, enough of the introduction. Let me get to the subject of antennas. Okay, we all know there are a lot of different types of antennas, and no one type is the be-all, end-all for every situation. But we also know that basically antennas are just a piece of wire, or really just a conductor. What helped me understand is an example in Hallis's book. Think of an antenna as a transducer. Now, a transducer is just a device for converting energy from one form to another. A pressure transducer converts force into electrical voltage, say. Or a speaker converts electrical current into vibrations on the cone, and those vibrations on the cone move the air, and that's how we get sound. Well, an antenna converts electrical field energy into a magnetic field energy, and vice versa. Okay, well, I knew that from studying for the license exam, but I don't think I really understood what it meant. But reading the book got me thinking. So I know how a motor works. A motor works by, we put a current into a winding, a bunch of wires, and that induces a magnetic field, and that causes the magnet at the core to turn. Really, more to the point, I started thinking about a generator, because that's the reverse, right? We have a magnet that's turning inside a coil of wire, and that turning magnet creates or induces the current in the windings of the generator, and it does that by creating a changing magnetic field, and that's what does the induction. Well, so here's the epiphany. If the magnetic field is changing, then the electric current is induced in the antenna exactly the same way that it is in the generator. The whole point is that a radio signal is just a dynamic magnetic field. The amplitude modulation or the frequency modulation that puts the voice or the CW on the carrier wave is the changing electromagnetic field that is set up on the carrier frequency. And that is what is inducing the current that the radio amplifier picks up from the antenna. Now, what I just described is an antenna getting current on it, and that's what's happening when we receive radio signals. For transmitting, an amplifier in the radio is putting a small current on the antenna, and that electric field is inducing a magnetic field that's around the antenna, and that's the signal that's going out. Seriously, for me, this was an eye-opener, and I think I'm just beginning to understand why and how antennas work, at least a little bit. Like I said before, for those of you who already got it, I apologize for this oversimplification. I know there's a heck of a lot more to it, and I know that I've got an awful lot more to learn and to understand, and I'm going to be reading a lot more in this book and trying to pick it up, and I'll hopefully be passing on other things that I glean from it. I'm also going to be doing a project, and I apologize for bumping the camera just then. I'm going to be building a tape measure Yagi. I'll include the link to the things that I use from it in that one. I also ordered an open stub J-pole from Arrow Antennas. I'm expecting that this week. And when I get it, I'm going to put it together and we're going to see how well it works. And that was one that was also recommended by a whole bunch of people at the club. So we're going to assemble it. We're going to try it out and see how it works. Until then, this is Jeff, the ham radio newbie. Let's try that again. This is Jeff, the ham radio newbie, KB5JRC. See you on the air, 73.